This video shows how to produce a KFI for your client using MortgageBrain Anywhere. So now that we've selected the scheme that we want for our client, we can click on the KFI button in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. This takes us again into a number of tiles, which we're now familiar with. The first tile you will see has a mandatory field around the client's name. Basically, we haven't collected the name of our client at this stage. We need to include it on the KFI. And we also want to include it so that we can recall this client from our client database at a later stage if necessary. So we will quickly give the client a name. We can, of course, fill out further information on our client at this stage if we want to, or continue to produce the KFI for our client. The software will automatically pick up the fees associated with the scheme that we've chosen for our client. If you charge your client a broker fee, then you can enter the information into the broker fee section by using the setup function that you see here. And you can see that you can either calculate a percentage for the broker fee or a flat fee. And of course, you have to include the text that explains when the broker fee is due to be paid and how. You'll also see here the proc fee box. Now the proc fee box has again a mandatory field around it. We need to include our proc fee. If you want to look at the range of mortgage networks that are available for you to place the case through, then simply click on the select button, and this opens up an additional tile as you see on the right hand side of the screen. We can then choose who we wish to place the case through, and when we click OK, it pops in the amount for us, as you can see here. We can then decide who it's payable to and if there are any third parties involved and if there are any splits that you need to display as well. Now the insurance functionality here, if you want to quote buildings and contents and payment protection insurance at this stage, you can do. That's entirely up to you, but you don't have to include it on the KFI if you don't want to. The more information button down in the left hand corner here displays further information on some of these tiles, so that again you can see things like loan to value. So if you were to include broker fees into the loan, what effect it would have, and so on. So once you've completed as much or as little of the screens as you want to at this stage, then we click OK to produce our KFI. Now what you'll notice at this stage is that our KFI documents are being displayed here on the screen, and at the same time they're being saved back to the client file. You can see it says saving client and documents at the bottom here, and it says do not leave this page until saving has finished. You don't want to close this tab down until the documents have been saved, because then they will be a permanent record against your client file. Now we have 3 different documents available to us here. As you can see, we have our illustration, which you'll be familiar with. Now when we select any of the KFI documents to review in this way, you'll notice that we've now created a new tab at the top of the screen here. So if you want to go back to your list of documents that were produced for the client, simply close this tab down and you're back to your first tab. Now the product selection report, as I said to you, records all the information that you've carried out for your client during the sourcing process. So the deleted schemes or the excluded schemes that we chose to remove from the scheme list are recorded in the filters letter, as you can see here. So total fees which were greater than or equal to £1,000, and the lender of the Leeds Building Society that we chose to exclude. So this is all recorded information for you. Again, once you've seen this document, you can close it down. If you wish to print it, you will see that you have an Adobe printer button at the bottom of the screen here that allows you to print the document straight from the screen. So we can close this down. If we've now finished with this information, we can go back to our home screen. And you can see that William Woolwich has been replaced by the no client chosen at the top of the screen here. So he's still our current client. And if we want to go into our client screen now and look at Mr. William Woolwich, we will see that by opening up his details, all the information that we collected on Mr. William Woolwich while we went through the sourcing process has been pulled back into the client file along with the documentation that we produced for him today.